welcome back to SettleCarlisle68. I'm Gary, and hopefully you're joining me today to join me on the start of my 00 gauge model railway layout journey. So it's about 6 months, unfortunately, since the last video, and a lot of things have got in the way, some planned, some unplanned and unexpected, but here we are 6 months on. So just wanted to give you an update of where I'm at with the planning and designing of the new layout. So yeah, before we get into the video, I just want to give a big thank you to all of the subscribers and people who contacted me as a result of the last video. I know it's 6 months ago and I've forgotten most of what went on, but a part of the video was I was putting up my N-gauge collection of scenery and trains and rolling stock and so on, and I got a fantastic response from everybody, and thankfully I've now moved most of that, well, all of that on now, and hopefully they've all found good new homes, and you're all enjoying those purchases that you made from me. So yeah, thanks again for that. And also a big thanks for sticking with the channel. It's not, I've not seen a mass exodus of subscribers over the last 6 months, even though I've not been putting any videos up. So a big thank you to all the subscribers for standing by me. So on to the video. I've actually broken the video into 2 parts because it would have been too long for the single video. I've filmed them both together, so you shouldn't have to wait a long time for part 2. So let's dive in and see where I started with the new layout.
So this is the start of my journey on planning for my new model railway layout, and we start by really breaking it down into 6 categories really. So we'll cover the first 4 in this video, and then the final track plan design and the scenery will come in part 2 of the video. So first of all, I want to look at the new layout overview, so where I'm currently at after finishing with the N-gauge layout and unfortunately having to dismantle it. I then moved on to investigating and planning for the new 00 gauge layout. So yeah, let's have a look at the new layout overview. So yeah, it has been a major change from me moving from N-gauge to 00 gauge, having to obviously accommodate a much larger scale layout in probably the same, or if not a reduced space in the same room. I also don't want to overcomplicate it. With the N-gauge layout, I actually started off quite relatively simple track plan, and then it developed into helifield, and then just got overcomplicated in my opinion, and then with all the points and so on, it got just the operation of the layout just became troublesome. So I'm going to keep it simple in terms of the track plan and its operation. I also want to model the scenery over several levels, probably 3 levels, to get some real depth to the layout. It's only going to be quite shallow compared to my previous layout. It's going to be 2 feet wide, or 60 centimeters at its widest point. So really want to make the most of that of the depth I can put into the layout. I also like the fact of having a double track tail chase. I just do like to sit down and watch the trains run through the scenery that I've created. However, as you'll see, the room layout causes a bit of issue with that. There's a couple of access doors and shelves and other things in the room that will possibly prevent that or make it more difficult. And then finally, I think we're all probably guilty of rushing into our layouts and doing things with possibly without thinking them fully through, and that's what happened with my Engage layout. I seem to go back over and over and over again, changing the track plan and the scenery and so on. And so you've now seen the overview for what I want to do with the new layout. So let's pop down into the room and let's see what space I've got available and where I'm going to run the layout around the room.
Okay, so we're in the back room of the garage, and that door that you see there leads into the front part of the garage. So there's that door there, and also the usual up and over garage door access as well. This is a 2.7 metre square room, so it's not massive, but I plan to use sort of half of this room for the permanent part of the layout. So starting in this corner, we've got this shelf unit, which I've got all my storage boxes there for rolling stock and so on. And the idea is I'm going to use space here in this corner. So I've got plenty to use, about 600 mil or 2 feet. So the layout will go over the top of this shelving unit, as it did with my Engage layout. So the plan is the layout will go over this shelving unit around 2 foot wide, and then it will then pass over my modelling desk. And as you've probably noticed straight away, we've got these storage unit that is higher than the shelving unit. So the plan is to probably move this off the desk, off the modelling desk, and put it elsewhere. But the paint storage will stay, and I'll probably put a unit on here that's of the same height as the paint storage. So that's something I'll have to make changes for, as is with the light and the magnifying glass. They will sort of lie flat, or they'll come forward beyond the layout. Now, in terms of measurement, I think the desk end is about where the board, the baseboard will end, so it will protrude slightly beyond the shelving. So then the plan is to run the layout over the top of the workbench, and then work its way around over those storage boxes that are currently in the corner there, and then pass through 90 degrees, and there's the window there with the blind down at present, and then it will continue, and it will finish here. So roughly where that shelf finishes or ends. In terms of the space that's available, I can actually run the layout across here, but obviously that'll be part of the temporary layout and not the fixed. The fixed layout will end here, and as I say, will work its way all the way back through 90 degrees, all the way back to that corner. So that's the space that I have available for the fixed part of the layout.
Okay, so at this point of the video, we're going to look at the era and the location that I'm going to model for the new layout. So when you're considering, or when I was considering in the planning stage of what era and location, it was quite easy really for me to decide upon this, as I'd started off my previous Engage layout in this sort of era and location. So it'll probably come as no surprise to you of what I've chosen, or what I've gone back to in terms of the era and location in the UK. What I hadn't really decided on was the theme of the layout, whether I wanted to go with a countryside scene, a station, a goods yard, or a full scenic layout, a TMD. Lots of things to choose from, but obviously the limited space would play a big part in that. And that also goes for the main features that I wanted to include on the layout itself. And then, of course, I'd like to choose a new layout name. This is sort of the third layout that I've done. I had sort of two stabs at an Engage layout, but this will be a new name for a new double O gauge layout. So it probably comes as no surprise that I've gone for the era 4 and 5 for the layout. That's sort of the British Railways steam era, although in the second part, the era 5, that there were obviously some diesels and so on coming into play. For the moment, I'll just be concentrating on the steam engines, but I will be considering some of the green diesels for the future. So in terms of the theme and the features on the layout, I definitely wanted to go back to the sort of Westmoreland, Cumbrian area. That's an area that I visit quite often, and really like the scenery and the countryside and the feel of that area. I also wanted to design a layout based upon a sort of a prototypical station track plan, but not necessarily copy it like for like in terms of being prototypical. Just a track plan as such, and trying to find one that fits the dimensions that I've got available. Ideally, want it to be sort of a small village station with some platforms and a signal box, that the usual sort of country station type design. And a big ask was to probably then for it to include a goods depot with a goods shed, cattle dock, and even a coal merchants. As I've said, really want to do a countryside location because it's got lots of scenic modelling potential. So yeah, that's really what I wanted from the theme and the features of the layout. So just started sort of scanning around the area. So there's obviously the named SettleCarlisle railway to consider. There was the Eden Valley Railway that I looked at, and then the Stainmore Railway, which was probably a railway line that was sort of more unfamiliar to myself, and that was the line that ran from T-Bay up to Bishop Auckland and the northeast, running through Kirby Stephen, where it crossed the SettleCarlisle line. So yeah, so started to investigate those sort of stations on the route. I pretty much ruled out the stations on the SettleCarlisle line quite early on because of the track plans didn't really lend themselves to the space that I had available within the room. So I sort of landed upon the Stainmore Railway, or the Stainmore Pass. So this was a line that came about in the 1860s, I think it was, and basically closed around 1962. But again, fantastic scenery, lots of viaducts and nice country stations. So I then started to look at the track plans of these various stations. And the one that sort of ticked all the boxes really was the Ravenstonedale station. And yeah, the track plan, in my eyes, perfectly lended itself to what I was looking for. So there was the station building with some nice architecture. It's got the signal box, it's got the two platforms, even though the platforms are offset The main platform is here with the station building, and then the secondary platform is offset with the shelter here. It's got a coal depot, which is away from the sort of goods shed, and this is an actual sort of coal drop, not just a conventional sort of flat, if you will, coal merchants. So this is a sort of a northeastern typical coal depot drop. And then we've got the goods shed and a further cattle dock and platform, unloading platform with a crane. And it has got sort of 3 sort of levels. So we've got the lower level where the coal depot is. You've got the secondary level where the double track is, and then a third level, which is the where the road passes over the road bridge. So this really ticked all of the boxes for me. And then these are just some of the photographs that I found online, as I mentioned, about the architecture of the station and the general feel of the station was what I was looking for. So nice scenery around the station, and got a nice wooden goods shed there, which will be good to model. And then, much to my surprise, when I started doing some further research, is that the station is actually still in existence, or the station building is, with the platform. And I've been driving past it on my ventures out with work many times on a road that literally passes right beside the station. So, what else attracted me to the Stainmore line? And what am I looking to do in the future to probably research more the line? Well, there is a station that's still in existence, where it's we've got a part of the line still operational from a heritage line, and that's at Kirby Stephen. I think it's known as the Stainmore Railway. And in the past, this was a major station. As you see today on the right-hand picture, they are still running a degree of trains on a portion of the Stainmore route. So that's a station or a heritage site that I've not visited, but certainly will be doing in the next 12 months. I believe they've got quite a lot of historical books and photographs and so on, which will be good to see if I can collect any more information on the Ravenstonedale station. And then we've got the Smaardale Gill Viaduct, which again in its day and still is a fantastic piece of engineering, and the viaduct is still there today, and you can actually go and walk the viaduct, as obviously the line's now shut. So again, that's something I'll be looking to do this year at some point. So in terms of the actual railway line, the other features on the line were the Bella Viaduct and also the Stainmore Summit. And the reason why I've picked these features out are that these really dictated, or two of the elements that dictated, what locomotives ran on the line. Because of the weight restrictions imposed on the Bella Viaduct, the heaviest sort of locomotives that were allowed to pass over were sort of standard class 4s or class 4 locomotives. So in many instances they had to double head these locomotives, so we've got a couple of class 4s there, rather than running a single locomotive of class 4, class 5 and above. And you can see a couple of more double-headed on the right-hand photograph. And again, they had to double-head because of the loads that they were pulling, typically 6 to 8 carriages, and then they had to pull them up some quite steep inclines, and the steepest of those being the Stainmore summit at just over 1,370 feet. So again, the reason for just putting these photographs up and explaining is this dictates really the selection of the rolling stock that I'm going to run on the layout. So yeah, what rolling stock will I be running? Bit of a mixed bag really. Obviously want to maintain some prototypical sort of running, so as I've just said, I'll be looking at the trains that ran on the passenger trains that ran on the Stainmore line, so looking to double head with some class 4s and anything up to sort of 5-6 carriages, and also looking to run a good number of varied goods trains. But I do also want to include, as part of my rolling stock, a lot of the locomotives that I sort of like and want to run, a bit of Rural 1 really, and that's BR and Midland era 4 and 5 locomotives. So that's on my wish list, and I've already purchased a few of those type of locos. And then really to carry on that Rural 1 theme, I'm certainly looking to want to run some SettleCarlisle heritage steam trains and locos. As you'll see in the next part of the video, I've already acquired a number of those loco types, just to really keep my love of the SettleCarlisle alive on the layout. So let's go back to the railway room and let's see what I've started to pull together as rolling stock and locomotives.
Okay, yeah, so covering the rolling stock and locomotives. So I've just picked out a few of the items, or a few of the locos and a bit of rolling stock that I've acquired so far. I've certainly got more locomotives than rolling stock at the moment, and the reason for that was, is that Rails of Sheffield, I think 4 or 5 months ago, seemed to get an influx from, I'm guessing, one buyer of a collection that just fitted what I'm looking to collect. So there were lots of era 4 and 5 steam locos, pretty much all Midland class. So I sort of snatched those up because they were at really good prices, anything between 70 and £100. Most of them were about 80 quid. So yeah, I snaffled them up on the back of selling my Engage stock. So yeah, just having a look at what stock I've invested in. So at the front here is a typical Stainmore line, class 4, if at class 4 flying pig, and these typically double-headed with class 4 MTs, as I've sort of demonstrated here. So all of these locos are DCC ready, but I will be running them in DCC, and they've all been tested with my trusty Gauge Master combi, all run really well. So as they ran double-headed, generally that was for passenger trains as well as goods trains. So in terms of rolling stock, passenger stock, I've got at the moment about half a dozen of the cream and crimson Mark 1s, and then I've also got 3 crimson Mark 1 Suburbans at the moment. They were bought brand new from Rails. And then to keep the Stainmore theme, Then looking at the other items that I purchased. So we've got the Ivet 2MT tender there, and behind that we've got the 2MT Ivet, the Mickey Mouse. So I think that was one of the few that came from another source other than Rails of Sheffield. And then behind we've got the my only purchases in relation to goods traffic or trains on the Stainforth line, and that's or Stainmore line, and that's the coal wagons, the 16-ton mineral wagons, of which I've purchased 6 in this weathered state, and these are from Bachmann's. 3 have got coal loads and 3 haven't, but that can soon be sorted out. And then we've got a Bachmann grey brake van there, and that's the limit really of what I've purchased on the goods side of things. So lots of wagons and other things to get still to purchase. So moving on to the front row, so you've seen the Stainmore stock I'm looking to build up. So this is part of the LMS Midland locos that I'm looking to use on the layout. So this is another one of my all-time favourites. It's the 4F, and this is another Bachmann model, as per all the ones at the back are all Bachmann, which I probably forgot to mention. So they're all Bachmann locos. So again, another DC ready, but I'm going to run this DC. And then moving forwards, we're now moving on to the SettleCarlisle collection of locos that I'm looking to run. So that's basically locos that currently run on the modern day tourist runs on the SettleCarlisle. So this is one of those, and again, one of my all-time favourites. It's the Royal Scots Guardsman. So this is actually a Hornby example, and really nice detail on this. And then another one of the SettleCarlisle locos that I've purchased, and these are like hen's teeth at the moment, trying to find them. I managed to get one off from eBay. So this is the A4 Sir Nigel Gresley, so 600007 in the fantastic blue livery with the early emblem, and looking to pair this up with a rake of sort of 6 coaches in the crimson and cream to run the layout. So I'm really looking forward to getting that up and running. So as I said, I've tested all of the locals, all run great on this little piece of test track I've got, but they all run great at very slow speed. Obviously can't do the faster speed yet, but I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, just thought I'd give you a flavour of the rolling stock and locomotives I've purchased so far. I've got another sort of 5 or 6 more in boxes stored away, ready to get running on the layout, but I'll show you those at a later date, and I'll no doubt be adding certainly to the rolling stock and maybe the odd loco in the meantime. So let's go back and run a recap on part 1 of this series of videos coming your way. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you found it informative and interesting on my new double O gauge layout journey. So this is the first part. So in part 2 you will see the track plan and how I'm looking to develop the layout. If you've got any comments or questions, please drop them in the comments box below. Please give me like, a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. Otherwise, thanks again to all the subscribers, and hopefully on this double O journey there'll be a few more that want to come on board and follow it as well. I'm looking to do pretty much the same as I did on the N-gauge layout in terms of scenery and development, so hopefully it will be something that you'll enjoy watching me develop, giving too much away in part 2. So thanks again, and I'll catch you very soon. Take care and happy modelling. Cheers, bye.